They do. People need people, and I love seeing it. So Lakers played Miami yesterday. I don't take a lot from it. Miami won. They should have won by more. The Lakers almost stole it. The Lakers are in a shooting slump right now, regardless of Anthony Davis being out and Dennis Schroeder being out. They just can't shoot. Miami's an interesting story. So, and this happens in sports, and fans don't want to admit it. We think, the minute you're good, you're going to be good forever. We think dynasties are going to last forever. And we think sometimes we forget that sports, you see this every year in March Madness, where there's a team that gets hot, lightning in a bottle. They're not that talented. They have all sorts of flaws, but they play with confidence. They maybe get a break or two in the seeding or the playoffs, and you look up and George Mason and VCU are knocking off teams, and they don't really have NBA players in March Madness, and you're like, wow, how did they get here? It's lightning in a bottle. Not every team that gets deep into the playoffs is great. There's breaks, there's momentum. And Miami last year shocked everybody. They were a 5th seed, and then they ended up in the finals. And I think they got a lot of breaks. Number one, they were super healthy. A lot of teams in the bubble had injuries. Older teams sort of unraveled. The older NBA players missed their wives. They missed their kids. And outside of the Lakers, every other veteran NBA team kind of folded and underachieved. But the Eastern older teams, Milwaukee, just didn't play well. And then nobody had a book on Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero. And Bam, until the finals, was playing very good basketball. And here came Miami. And Jimmy Butler had this energy, and everybody was feeding off it. And Eric Spoelstra, of course, is an excellent coach. And you look up today, and Miami's just not that talented. Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson are incredibly limited players, both defensive liabilities. If you run them off the three-point line, they don't have much of a game. Bam is not good enough when Jimmy Butler's hurt to carry a team. They're 3-9 when Jimmy Butler's not available. There's a reason that Pat Riley went after James Harden hard when Harden was in Houston. Like, they just don't have enough. They need another guy. But it also goes to show you this happens. There are lightning in, we talked about Cam Newton. Cam had a lightning in the bottle year. His division was awful. He stayed healthy. It was a weird year where Carolina met Arizona in the NFC Championship. Green Bay wasn't as good that year. And all of a sudden you look up and Cam Newton's in the Super Bowl. And you're like, it kind of happened once. Everything kind of worked out. Doesn't take anything away from Cam or George Mason or VCU or the Miami Heat. But I'm watching them yesterday, and I'm like, they're not special. Right now, they would not be a playoff team. Now, they're not many games out of it, but they're 4 games under 500, and Jimmy Butler needs help. And now there's a book on Tyler Hero, and even Eric Spoelstra, who's a great coach, doesn't have all the answers. Speaking of Cam Newton, I thought this was interesting. So Cam Newton had that little goofy dust-up with that kid. Not a fan of that. I'm a fan of Cam after that. But Cam was talking over the course of the weekend. He said, there are not 32 quarterbacks better than me. Here's Cam Newton sort of defending his space.
My pride won't even allow me to do that. Listen, bro, there's not 32 guys better than me. Put it like that. So if you're asking me,
where you at?
I'm not 32.
He's probably right. It's interesting. So I'm reading a story this morning where New England is starting to feel a little bit like the Celtics. They were in on Matt Stafford, and they've been in on Carson Wentz, but the price was simply too high. You got to stop trying to win trades, and you're going to have to win some games. Right now, New England drafts 15th. They're the only team in the NFL that feels kind of hopeless at quarterback unless they bring Cam back. I think Cam's coming back. If you don't bring Cam back, who are you getting with the 15th pick? San Francisco's not trading Garoppolo. They got no backup plan. Jets are not going to trade you Sam Darnold in division. Marcus Mariota can't stay healthy. He's reckless. Wentz is off the market. Goff's off the market. Stafford's off the market. And to be honest, you can't get Deshaun Watson, although he'd be great. You don't have the draft capital, and you don't have any players. Carolina can give you Christian McCaffrey. They can give you all their picks. Who do you have? Stephon Gilmore's past his prime. You have no skill players I want. You don't have an A running back, an A receiver, or an A tight end. So it's funny about Cam. We all kind of think like, oh, they'll move off Cam. To who? I think he's coming back. I think you can make the argument, second year with Josh McDaniels. They went 7-9 with a bunch of opt-outs. They got a ton of cap space. They're a team that should really go after Allen Robinson, the wide receiver at Chicago. They're still, even if they sign Cam to a 2-year deal, they're not going to pay him like market value. He's making nothing. You can pay him like $18 million a year. So, and there are other teams you have questions at quarterback. Big Ben, but he was pretty good early last year. Jags, they'll get their guys in the draft. Saints, well, Jameis Winston threw for 5,000 yards 2 years ago, and Taysom Hill in 4 starts went 3-1. If you don't bring Cam back, you're hopeless. What are you going to do? So, New England's got a little Celtic. Boston's one of those very kind of hyper academic markets, MIT and Harvard, and they're very much the Red Sox and Patriots and Celtics into analytics. You can try to win trades, but you got to win games. And if Cam's not coming back, you tell me what the answer is. Because according to this, they didn't want to pay for Wentz and they didn't want to pay for Stafford. All right, congrats. And the Celtics didn't want to pay for Paul George, James Harden, and Kawhi. And today, the Celtics, they're not very good. Hour 2, Colin right, Colin wrong. Live in L.A. It's The Herd.